What is going on, cryptocurrency investors? My name is Landon. You're watching Crypto Review Central. On this channel, you can find weekly cryptocurrency videos that cover a whole wide range of topics. I've taken the last 2 weeks off from producing content on this channel to refocus in my personal life. But now that I'm back, I need to bring everyone up to speed with what's transpired in the cryptocurrency markets over the last couple of weeks. The overall market capitalization of cryptocurrency has remained relatively unchanged. We've been hovering at above $200 billion just barely for some months now, deviating slightly at times only to be corrected back to just above $200 billion. We've seen brief periods of retracement followed by a couple of upward jolts in the market. As you can see, 10 days ago on September 20th, the entire market saw a pump of over $25 billion, bringing it from $197 billion to $226 billion. That was incredibly overdue and a welcome change for what I'd be willing to bet almost everyone in the crypto space. That pump was sustained for 3 days before we saw it retrace briefly below $210 billion, only to resurge back north of $220 billion. Hovering currently at $223 billion, it's not incredibly exciting, but it is what it is, and I've personally resigned myself to the conclusion that I'm here for the long-term play. I've recently reflected that I'm not interested in riding the waves of all of these pumped altcoins or getting in on an asset before or during a large upward swing. Being a trader is very emotionally time consuming, and one can easily succumb to FOMO or FUD, or a combination of the two on a varied spectrum. Personally, if you're able to day trade or swing trade your way to profits, I salute you. And I hope you are getting the satisfaction and thrill associated with trading without all the fear and hopelessness also tagged to the practice. I'm beginning to believe that the long-term play is a 5 to 10 year investment rather than squeaking out 1 to 10% per trade or whatever measure you set out to accomplish. I've accumulated some Bitcoin over this past year, and I'm currently not willing to lose any of it to a poor trade in hopes of adding just a bit more to the bankroll. It's not worth it in my personal opinion, and it wouldn't be economic for me to do that right now. And I think the true genius play is the long-term 5 to 10 year play, getting a handful of assets that you truly believe in, long-term, and sitting on that and watching the wealth grow as time goes on and not be swayed by these pumps and or dumps. Rather than being a crypto trader and potentially giving away Bitcoin for a fraction of its 10-year worth is not an ideal situation as far as I'm concerned. And the more that time goes on where we don't have any significant quelling of this market, the more I feel we are really on to something big here. I've said this often on this channel before, and I'll say it again. I feel this cryptocurrency market is the answer to many long-standing societal problems, many of which are brought about by the very systems designed to serve them. But I digress, as usual. Cryptocurrency is the single largest global paradigm shift that I will likely see in my entire lifetime. And I feel many of us cryptocurrency enthusiasts are correct in feeling a bit of deja vu with the dot-com boom or the rise of Amazon, Facebook, or Twitter, or any number of the Silicon Valley startups that did so well, along with all the ones that didn't do so well. I mean, now there are over 2,000 assets. Not all of them have a place in the future of this market, but all of them are vying for their little slice of activity and their little slice of market cap. This market can and will become a behemoth. If you don't already classify $200+ billion as a behemoth, Tim Draper, for example, thinks that this is a $10 trillion market in 10 years, and I'm personally betting on it for my own financial freedom, or a part of my own financial freedom, and I'm by far not alone in that overall hope. The overall 1 year look at the cryptocurrency market at this point is as bleak as it's been all year. Following this huge pump to over $800 billion in December and January of 2017 and 2018 respectively, we saw it drop to $325 billion in the beginning of February, and by February 20th it had pumped to $500 billion once again and briefly broke $500 billion on the 20th. Then it slowly retraced all the way down to $250 billion. And by the second week of April, it had started to regain some of that lost value, where it broke $450 billion but failed to touch $500 billion, and has been on a downward trajectory ever since, seeing very small pumps here and there, bottoming out to just below $250 billion for very brief periods, and currently in a minor pump to $225 billion, which is about a $25 billion change. The silver lining throughout all of this is the overall development in this space since our previous December and January highs. A number of major breakthroughs have been made, and we are only aware of the proverbial tip of the iceberg in regard to what these large financial institutions have planned for this market, for better or worse. Names like ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange, JP Morgan, Bloomberg, Microsoft, Starbucks, Amazon are all eagerly dabbling in some regards with digital currencies. It's a brave new world indeed, and one that gives humanitarians hope for the future of mankind's development on this earth. The gravity of the worldwide economic system is well known universally across all pay grades and socioeconomic statuses. It's global hypocrisy on a scale never before seen, and cryptocurrency is the current best practice at solving many of these industry-created chronic issues. In my honest opinion, I think the market's bottoming out as it has is a prime opportunity for another blow-up similar to what happened in 2017. Many experts have been calling for said blow-up to occur really since the first signs of retracement, all the way back in January of this year, all of which has yet to actually materialize. This bottoming out that we're in right now is ideally going to act as a springboard for whatever the close of this year has in store. Many also believe in the underlying idea that large investors are vacationing in the summer and settle in fireside for autumn and winter trading and profit taking. The close of 2018 could still very easily be as big or bigger than the $20,000 Bitcoin price and the $800+ billion market cap. I'm more bearish on that idea than I am on the long-term 5 to 10 year cryptocurrency investment strategy. Either way, its impact is already very profound and will continue to be that way. Last week we saw this pump kick off with Ripple XRP, and much of this week seems to continue that way. Ripple pumped some 70% and over 100% at one point and actually usurped Ethereum as the second ranked cryptocurrency, albeit only for a couple of hours. It remains highly traded, however, breaking its way past its daily averages of low 9 figures, which is like 100 million to 400 million, and peaking at a whopping $4.8 billion and over 60 cents USD. Then it saw retracement back to 44 cents, which is still very high, only to pump once again to just north of 60 cents, where it dropped slightly to 57 cents, where it is right now. Although that is likely temporary as long as this market cap stays the way it is or retraces, which it could very easily do. Pending any significant upward movement, I don't think it will hold, although stranger things have definitely happened, so I will keep an eye on this as the week progresses. Why this XRP pump? From a Reddit thread, Ripple hinted on CNBC that their XRapid protocol may launch in the next month, and PNC Bank, which is in the Asia Pacific market, announced that it will begin to use Ripple's Xcurrent to make international payments. But both of these occurred earlier in the week. It also should be noted that XRP broke a massive trend line, the big one since February according to Reddit. So could we have a new standard in the price of XRP going forward? Will this big resistance become a permanent support for the foreseeable future? Comment below and let me know what you think about all the developments in Ripple. I'm going to cover Ripple XRP and its latest developments along with the latest developments in Stellar Luens XLM, because they have also recently made headlining developments that make them a rival to Ripple XRP when it comes to cross-border payments. Stellar Luens hasn't experienced the same glory that Ripple has gotten over the past week, but XLM is still in the 6th position overall, and it did see a pump as the overall market cap of crypto rose $25 billion, along with a number of other assets in the market. Most of the assets had a couple of green days, and XLM was definitely included in that. Time will tell, however, as there might be room for all of these assets to capture their share of the market, but XLM's volume went to what XRP was averaging on its bad days at about $300 million during its highest recent pump, and in my opinion that speaks volumes to a number of things, putting XRP above Stellar Luens. Time will tell, however, as there might be room for all of these assets to capture their share of the market and function rather efficiently and provide value. This market has so much potential utility for society, and it's still very much in its infancy. So make sure you subscribe to Crypto Review Central and join us for this wild ride as this market begins to grow and evolve as time goes on. Continue to follow our weekly content on this evolving space. And don't forget to turn post notifications on so you get notified when we upload a video. Thank you once again to the CRC crew for your continued support. We're hoping and praying for at least $500 billion by the close of this year. And in the meantime, make sure to do all of your own research, and happy trading, everyone. Or happy hodling if you're in my position. I'll see you all very soon.